Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Friday, September 16th, 15th, 2023. It's now Saturday morning, midnight, so it's the 16th. So welcome to the post-fight show. That is Lopez versus Gonxalez fight review. The fight wrapped up a little while ago. Took me a moment to get things going. I was having some technical problems with my streaming, so I was going to try to switch the other fights on, but the technology is not working this evening, so Stormy is going to have to catch those other matches on a replay. Won't be able to do everything this evening, so I'll just do the ESPN 3 fights that I was able to see on there, and I'll catch the others later. But welcome everybody. Appreciate you stopping in. Smash the like button as you come in. Got a chance to see this fight. I'm a little bit perplexed by how the scoring went on this night. I was able to witness something here that, for the third time in challenging for a world title, Joey Gonxalez came out and surprised, I believe, even the most casual of followers with a very solid performance tonight. And I felt that he inked out a decision here, and it seemed that the judges had Lopez running away. Now, going into the fight, including in my pre-fight video breakdown. I thought that Lopez might score a late round stoppage because Gonxalez gets hit, and he was able to defend himself where he didn't get caught with the most heaviest of Lopez's unorthodox punches. He landed some very good right hands himself, some very clean, sharp right hands that, even though some of them Lopez was able to ride, but they landed still solidly. This was probably one of Gonxalez's best performances, man, just to be perfectly honest with you. And it's a shame when a fighter goes out and performs at a level like what we saw Gonxalez perform at this evening and do not get the decision. Again, I've talked about that. There's just something terribly unjust about fighters not being able to win decisions when they have put in the work. And this is another case of that. And I just want to say, you know, my hat is off to Joet Gonxalez because he performed very well tonight. And he performed, I believe, well enough to win a decision. And if you can't win a decision against an unorthodox fighter, forgive me, everyone. I got the case of the yawns for some reason. I wasn't yawning one bit while I was watching the fights, and now here it is. I get on the mic and I'm yawning like crazy. So forgive me. To put forth the effort like that and not be able to get the decision, it's very gut-wrenching. And once again, the ugliness of boxing shows its head. Now, we have a wonderful display of fighters getting in the ring, competing in this late quarter of the year. We're seeing performances to be respected. But I tell you, when you look around and you see that judges don't do their part, the sport has a long way to go to come around. And it's very disheartening. I wasn't able to catch post-fight comments from the fighters, but when the decision was announced, Gonxalez seemed a little stoic. He didn't even seem, I don't know if he was just in shock or just wanted to walk out of there and say something later. But one of those judges had it like 118 to 110 or something. It was ridiculous. I mean, just a margin like that where I had it 7 rounds for Gonxalez. There was one round I was not able to score because I kind of like drifted. But I don't know. What do you guys think? But that's what I was thinking about that. So, you know, let me check and see who we got in the building here. Let's see here. We got William Old School is out there. What's going on with you, William? Shower Allah's in the building. What's going on? Shower, how you doing this evening? Appreciate you. Learn is out there saying salute. Eric H in the building. And JJ is out there. He says, Stormy, thanks for supporting boxing on Mexican Independence Day. Joey has nothing to be ashamed of, but I think my boy Venda is one step with his unorthodox style. Yeah, you know, he's very awkward. He reminds me a lot of Prince Hameen without the flamboyant and showboating. And he can throw punches from any angle. he threw a left hook in one of those rounds. I was like, he had turned and spent and then threw this left hook. I was like, man, if he would have caught that dude clean with that, he would have cleaned him up, because he can really punch too. And he's a even-handed puncher. He punches equally well with the right and the left. But he's one of those guys that, I guess when he got in the gym, he just began to do his thing, and nobody ever said, no, don't do it that way or whatever, but it's actually effective. But a very fundamentally sound fighter, as Joet showed, could give him extreme problems. What would be interesting is a fight with he and Navarrete, because they both are unorthodox to the bone, and it would be amazing to see who could land what, but I think this fight is even worthy of a rematch, man, because it was just that close and very good. But JJ, I appreciate you acknowledging me. I didn't do the Friday night chop session this evening because I wanted to do a post fight on this card. So, man, but do you see what happens when real fighters just get in there and do their thing? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But let me see who else we got out here. Learn says, I edged it to Joet after several chances. I wonder where he stands with Top Rank. But you know what? He was in this fight. This was a weird way to go, because he won the title overseas in the UK. Then he went to Ireland and knocked out Michael Conlan. Is he truly the top ranked fighter? Is Joet the top ranked fighter? Or are they both? Because Joet is right there. I mean, this fight was that close. It should not have been a lopsided as the scores read, but Joet didn't get blown out in this fight. He did not, even though I thought he would get stopped in this fight. So there it goes. Even I can be wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm admitting that here on the air, that this is the way I saw it. Learn says it was a competitive fight. Shower says old school. TS Boxing, what's good with you, man? Salute to you. Champion Heart is in the building. What's happening, Champion Heart? He says salute to Sensei and my brothers and sisters in the chat. Yeah. Learn says whose uppercuts are more unorthodox, Lopez or Navarrete? Yeah, that would be, to put those two in the ring against each other, man, it would probably be like watching somebody breakdancing or something for the first time. It's like, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. He says, I think Navarrete because he's more harder to see coming. Salute to my brother, the Painful Excellence podcast out there in the super chat. He says, salute to the best boxing analysts on YouTube. Haters are gonna hate. Laugh out loud. While we talk boxing, they talk about other things that are irrelevant. Yes, sir. Salute to you, my brother. Painful Excellence podcast. And appreciate your donation, man. And you are absolutely 1,000% correct on that, brother. You are 1,000% correct. And you know what? They'll sit out there and, mean mug, like I put that picture of Snoop Dogg from Baby Boy up from time to time. Yeah, that's them. That's them. Champion Heart says, yes, this fight definitely deserves a rematch. I would love to see it. And I'm going to tell you something. Joet doesn't really need to change a thing. He could come in there and do exactly. He took some shots, which shows that this kid, listen, man, I thought he would get stopped. But please do not underestimate Luis Alberto Lopez. The man can crack with both hands, And if you saw Gonxalez's face at the end of the fight, that was from taking some shots. He wasn't even taking a lot of them flush, but he took some shots and he looked battered. Navarrete had him looking a little worse for wear, but Navarrete's reach and ranginess and punches that came from equally as weird angles was a little bit different. But if you notice, Lopez was moving away a lot too, and it was like, it was so weird. They were talking during the fight, during commentary. They said with 16-ounce gloves in the gym, one of the world-class fighters who had sparred with Lopez, they were talking about how he is the hardest puncher he has ever been in the ring with, even with the 16-ounce gloves on. And that's in sparring and training. So this guy has got to have one hell of a shot. And I remember when he was fighting Josh Warrington, after a couple of rounds, he had Warrington's nose bleeding like a leaky faucet, man. So he is for real. He is definitely for real. It's just like, and he's like very poker face. You see how his expression doesn't change. It's like he reminds me of Geppetto or something. Just like a weird, it's a weird thing with this guy. But if he wants to move forward, he needs to move forward behind maybe a rematch here. Even if it's not the very next fight, maybe, but it should be the next fight. They should not let this go away like that. But the judges' decisions, the score margins are what's going to ruin. Man, I'm kind of goofed up tonight. That's what's going to ruin the possibilities because it was so lopsided. There was one score, I think, 116 to 112. That was more like it. But that 118 and that 117, come on, man. It wasn't that wide. It was not that wide. Learn says, Yoet has stamina. I expected him to finish without being tired like he usually does. I actually had Lopez stopping him, and I thought it would be from a buildup of body shots, and then he would nail him with, he was trying to get that uppercut in there. He worked very hard for that, and he just couldn't seem to land it. But he was working it. And that's what I thought was going to be. There's a little flea or something in here. That's what would have been the thing that would have got him up out of there. But I noticed that Lopez didn't go to the body enough. And that was what made the difference. You see, the body work, man, sometimes these fighters get away from the significance of body work. But when you put in the proper amount, that's what can assist you in making a fight easier to take down the pipe, you know. And he didn't do that. And Joet couldn't get in the body work because if Joet had tried to get the body work in on him, he would have been in closer for some of those unorthodox shots to land by Lopez. So that's one of the things that I understood him. And I said in my fight breakdown that he needed to keep it mid-range to distance, and he pretty much did that. But it wasn't all him because he did pursue a lot, but Lopez moved away a lot too, which was a little bit surprising. I was definitely surprised by how much he was moving. But again, this was a great contrast of boxing styles. And look at what we got out of that. You know what I mean? So Very good fight. Competitive fight. The type of fight that, again, if you were tuning in and watching, it was entertaining because it was like one guy was kind of like, you didn't know what he was going to do, and the other guy was just trying to stay the course and nail him with the proper shots. Now, I do believe that Gonxalez didn't throw enough of those right hands. He should have let that loose a little bit more because he was scoring very successfully with it, you know. But, man, you know, Champion Hart says, yeah, it was hard for Lopez to land it. Gonxalez was giving him weird angles. Yeah. Good fight, though. You know, it's a good fight. What I like is the fact that when these fighters fight each other. Now, see, these were two top fighters. The IBF Featherweight Championship. Though Joet has challenged, this was his third time. Look at the three people he's fought now. Lopez, Navarrete, and Shakur. I mean, come on, man. If you're losing to only guys like that, you're pretty darn good. You know what I'm saying? You're just not as good as they are. But the other saving grace would be for those guys, Shakur, Navarrete, and Lopez, to fight each other. How about that? Now, I know that Shakur has gone up to lightweight now, but was he thinking that he didn't want to just stick around there for Navarrete? I don't know. Navarrete is a dangerous fighter, man. That is a dangerous man right there. And Lopez don't look like he could get too much bigger. I think he's going to tap out right there. He'll be that. He's already 30 years old, you know. And if he faces the likes of Isak Dogbe or something like that, he'll probably knock that guy out. You know what I mean? So he could probably go on another tour of the UK and beat up some guys over there. You know, that Lee Wood might want to taste, huh? He could go over there and stretch that dude out. The guy with the bonsai haircut. Huh? The bonsai tree haircut. Yeah. But hey, man. In the co-main, you had Xander Zayas, you know, taking on that gentleman. What was his name? Alejandro. What's his name? Alejandro. I got it written down here, so forgive me. My goodness. No, it was Roberto. Forgive me. I had to. Alejandro was the guy in the fight before that. Xander Zayas took on Roberto Valenzuela Jr. And that was a weird fight right there. Let me tell you this about Xander Zayas, man. He's a prodigy. He looks like how Fernando Vargas looked coming up as a young guy like that. I know that he's Puerto Rican. I'm not trying to compare him as a Mexican. I'm not trying to do that. What I am trying to do is associate the fact that a youthful talent that seems to have the world ahead of him. And he looked a lot better in this fight. He still looks like he's headhunting a little too much for my taste. We need to see some body work in there. But when he lands to the head, he does damage, because you just ask Mr. Valenzuela for tonight. He broke the dude's nose in half. Did you see that? I haven't seen a nose look like that in a very long time. If you gave me some time, I could come up with a couple of names. But the guy was leaking from the top of the crack of the nose and from the bottom. So the nose was broken in half, man. Yes, But Mr. Valenzuela was tough. He did not want to stop. The referee was like, we're going to have to stop it. It looks pretty bad. He was like, I don't care if my nose is broke. He was like, I want to fight. But the only thing was, he couldn't fight. He wanted to fight, but his skill set was not anywhere near on par with Xander. Xander's hands is so fast, man. The beauty of youth, huh? The young man's hands was fast. Did you see that left hook he hit him with in that first round? It was like, dude hit the canvas so fast, it was like he didn't even know why he was on the canvas. Well, I tell you, I like watching these young fighters, man. It's like they do their thing. See, because they don't know no better. They don't know what danger is or nothing. They just go in there and be mixing it up. And the dude was bleeding everywhere, man, like he came out of the, he was an escaped animal from the slaughterhouse, huh? And Xander was like, you want some more? Okay, here you go. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let me see. We get Champion Heart says, yes, Sensei. I see too many fighters, headhunters. Body work is lacking, seriously. What happened to kill the body and the head will fall? That's because these new trainers, man, I'm telling you, a lot of the new trainers do not have the philosophy of the old school trainers and boxing that has stood the test of time. There has become a generation gap where the tradition of passing on technique and different types of tactical strategies and things of that nature, it's not there. It's not there. You got these new school guys doing things new ways. It's just like the old trainers didn't say, you know, didn't agree with fighters hitting the weights because they wanted to keep you lean, strong, wiry, and fast. Look at the films of the old fighters. Go back before the 90s. Because 90s is around when people start getting big. But if you go back to the late 80s on back, you saw how wiry fighters were. They had thin muscles, thin streamlined muscles. Their bodies, their torsos and their trunks. And you know, you see how Bernard Hopkins was built as a middleweight? That was kind of, Bernard Hopkins had like a 32-inch waist. That's what you would see. Fighters lean like that. These guys now, they like to come in all thick and bulked up and stuff like that, and it just, and then they blow out. They get tired from carrying all that mass. So, you know, yeah, you might look good in a photo shoot, huh? But in the ring, you're going to max out after like 3 or 4 rounds. You know what I mean? So that's what's crazy. Yeah, Shower, I caught up with that Valenzuela. Learn says, this is one of those fights where the champion gets the upper hand if it's a close fight. With Joette's face like that, it shows Lopez had effective aggression and shows Joette lack of defense. I don't know. His defense was pretty good because we're talking about a guy who could take people's heads off, man. This dude knocked out Michael Conlan with an uppercut that he didn't see. And it was crazy what he was doing to Michael Conlan. And he took care of Michael Conlan inside like 3 or 4 rounds. It was like ridiculous. That's why I said Joette was going to go. But Joette was very disciplined. His defense was on point enough to help him go 12 with a guy who can knock you out with either hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. TS is saluting. Learn says, Xander's hands were the first thing I noticed. He improved as well, Sensei. Yes, he did. Xander looked very good, man. The only thing, like I said, my critique of him is he was headhunting a little bit too much. With the way that he can punch and how fast his hands are, if he start dropping those liver shots on guys and everything, they're not going to be able to stay in there with him, man, because he can blind you with shots. See, fighters who, that's kind of old school too, when you could blind a guy with shots. Because you're so fast, your hand movement can go up and down, and then sometimes come around the side. But when you can blind the guy with shots, he can't see things. And then you hit him on the chin and they could go. See, Xander got time because he's very young. But he has improved markedly since I saw him like a year ago. He looks very good. I'm liking this kid. I'm liking him. Shower says Xander's speed, accuracy, and beautiful uppercuts. Yeah. Champion Heart says he looked like Rocky Marciano with his nose busted up like that. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that was one of the fighters I was trying to think of, Rocky, because he had a fight like that where his nose was almost halfway off his face, torn off. Ridiculous, man. And this guy wanted to keep going. I'm a pretty boy. I'd be like, oh, look at my nose. I ain't gonna never be as handsome as I used to be. And stop the fight. You know what I mean? But that dude was bleeding, man. You know, when they take those cows at the slaughterhouse and they stick their head through that noose and that thing comes around their neck, man, let me tell you something. It looked like he stuck his nose through that thing and it came around his nose, because it's like he opened his nose up like parting the sea, huh? Yeah. Yeah, Shower, he does. He improves fight to fight. You could tell he's receiving some good instructions in the gym, meaning like he's learning things. They're taking him through phases of teaching him different things. But with how he fights, they're in a dangerous spot. He was scheduled for 10 rounds, but there was no way that guy was going to go 10 rounds with him. So he needs better opposition. They probably need to put him in now with a guy who could take a really good shot, a guy who's going to give him rounds, because we know he could get people out of there. We need to see him fight fighters that are going to give something to him in a night's performance. And that makes a difference when a guy is in there and has to, you know, figure things out as he's going along. That's very important. When you're just going in there and you're bowling guys over, sort of like Berlanga was doing, then when you get resistance and you don't know what to do. But Xander is not that kind of guy, because Xander has learned some things as he's moved along. Berlanga was kind of more one-dimensional. So, yeah. Salute to JJ in that super chat. He's saying, Stormy, what do you think? How does this fight compare to the Valdez versus Navarrete fight for a Mexican showdown? Because I was ready to compare, being it's Mexican Independence Day, and you know what I mean, Stormy. Salute. Salute to you. Hey, man, appreciate you with the super chat there. The $20 holler there, JJ. This fight, you're talking about Lopez and Joet. A much better quality fight and more competitive. If you ask me, Valdez didn't compete very well with Navarrete. Navarrete just made him look like he didn't belong in the ring with him. That wasn't the case between Lopez and Gonxalez. That fight was competitive. As I stated, I had Gonxalez winning. So, you know, even after having going in picked that Lopez would win. So there you have it. But I do believe this was a much better quality fight. Competitiveness was there. The scoring was atrocious. And there was ebb and flow. There were moments in the fight where Lopez seemed like he was coming on and his strength was quite apparent. But against Valdez, Navarrete just got going and going and going, and Valdez just shrank and shrank and shrank. But the only thing that got bigger was his eye, huh? It's like that eye, man. Valdez didn't pass the eye test, huh? Yeah. Shawa says, I just don't like Valdez. He's a very bland fighter. Yeah, man. I don't care for those tea drinkers myself there, Shawa. What you doing? Huh? Leave the tea alone, I say. Huh? Messing around with that tea. I never cheated a day in my life. Where's that clip at, Drew? Drinking that doggone tea. Learn is asking, when do you see a potential step up for Alexander? It should be early next year. It should be early next year. They should start putting him in with guys who are going to give him rounds. That's what he needs. He needs guys that are going to give him rounds. Guys who are veterans. They could take a shot. They're out there. But I'm not saying rush Xander for a title shot because he's so young. Sometimes young fighters don't need titles right away. But the entire experience of learning how to box and learning what to do in matches, and when you get to a certain point in a fight where you have to make an adjustment or you have to figure something out because it's just not going 100% your way. Another thing would be to take him somewhere that's foreign to him, even if that means outside of the U.S. Take him somewhere where he's a fish out of water. You know, give him an opponent that's not gonna, make it even worse for him, but let him experience the world a little bit. Because the young guys, they need to get that world experience too. Hostile environments and things of that nature, that can help a guy a lot. That can help a guy a lot. And that first fight, man, Fernando Vargas' son, Emiliano, man. Emiliano at lightweight looks pretty darn good, bro. Emiliano looks good. I mean, he's a handsome young kid. He's out there doing his thing, making his daddy proud, man. But Vargas got 3 sons that are boxing, man. Junior and the middle guy, I forget his name, forgive me. And then Emiliano. It's like they are like doing it. The Vargas family gonna be all right, man. They're gonna be all right. Fernando he's got some good stuff happening there with his boys. And that's great to see. That's great to see, man. I'm proud of that. Champion Heart says, right, Stormy. That's exactly what Xander needs. Yeah, he needs to travel a little bit. Take him over in Puerto Rico. Set up a card over there. Let him fight there, and then take him somewhere else. Let him fight a fight in the UK. You know, Top Rank, of course. See, Top Rank, they could travel. They could do those kind of things. It's just that they do it for certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? But take him somewhere. Take him to Australia. Put him on a card there, or somewhere in Europe, somewhere. Just let him get a taste of boxing outside the U.S. He's a young guy. And let people look at him, because he looks like he may be the goods. It's still early, but do that. Work with him, you know? But that's the other part about Top Rank. They don't really like to promote their fighters, because they don't want them to get too big, too fast, and too soon and all of that, because then you got to pay, huh? And we know they don't like to pay, huh? Top Rank is like that tenant. If you're a landlord, that you got to ask for your rent every month. It's like you getting 30-day notices ready and everything. It's like I had to get my car fixed. I had to do this. Man, pay your rent. See him coming out of the club. It's like, you want to live at the club? Shower says he deserves to be one of those fighters off the eye test. Yes. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, Champion Heart, you laughing, but it's like Top Rank don't want to pay, man. If you start looking too good, Bob Arum's purse starts shrinking. It's like, you hear that? You ever heard that sound of leather rubbing against each other? It's like that's the sound you hear in the offices of Top Rank when a kid like Xander look too good, huh? It's like they're like, wow, what a great, glorious looking prospect, Xander Zayas, and then you, what's that sound? It's like the Top Rank purses getting tight. They don't want to pay nobody. I'll tell you, man, it's like, you can see, and there's a history of other fighters. Oscar, you know what I mean? Mikey, Floyd. This guy's just, you know, man. The purse straps get too tight. In fact, the purse straps get so tight at Top Rank, if you look at them real close, you can see where they've been stitched and restitched. Shit. Shit. JJ says, I think Joette, even though having had a loss, his stock raised. And I would like to see him being the gatekeeper to the division and earn another title shot, being that this was his third. You know what? I don't look at Joette as a gatekeeper, man. I look at him as a contender, because with all these belts out there, he can still beat a lot of other guys that are not the champion, you know? Shower says, Blob ain't his pea smelling wallet will never be rubbing. No, but it'll be shrinking, huh? And that urine that helped dry it up too. You hear that leather rubbing together? What is that? that. And it smells bad too. It's like, I'm not paying another quarter for that boy. I could have bought another colostomy bag. Years worth of supplies with what the money I'm wasting on him. See, y'all got me talking this mess now. Listen, man. Shucks. Shower says that woke me up a little bit. But you know, hey, we know that Xander's talented. He just ain't gonna get rich over there, huh? His day is coming. He'll have to move on just like the rest of them. You know, he'll move on. And it ain't time for him to get rich. He got a lot to, you know, he's got a lot to do. But I'm going to tell you something. Them damn Vargas boys, better watch out. They're going to be just like the Russell brothers. They're going to be right there. They're going to be right there. For certain. Did anyone in here catch any of the Showbox fights? Because like I said, I had to, my streaming thing was acting up, so I wasn't able to check it. I'm going to have to go and catch the replay and watch it on a different TV. I can't watch it on my monitor that's here with me. I have to go in another room. So outside of a rematch with Gonxalez, would you guys like to see maybe Lopez and Navarrete? That's a darn good fight. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, I was checking the records of Joette and Luis. See, Luis fought in his last 2 fights before tonight. He fought Mike Conlon and Josh Warrington. Now, Joette has fought Isaac Dogbe and Emmanuel Navarrete over the past 2 years. And then Shakur Stevenson the year before that. So I think that Top Rank should send him over there. Joette, I'm talking about now. Let him fight Josh Warrington. That's a good fight. Joette Gonxalez versus Josh Warrington. That's a good fight. And that's a very winnable fight for Gonxalez. And that can pop him right back into the thick of things, especially since Carl Frampton don't fight anymore. So yeah, that's what's up. JJ says, Stormy, I think tomorrow is going to be a good fight as well. Zepeda versus Gusta. Mexican Independence Day is not over. I know. Did you see that I got a video coming out tomorrow morning, 8:15 a.m. JJ, my fight breakdown on that. So please tune in and check out the video. The fight is tomorrow night, and we will be tuning in to watch that. So yeah. Check it out. I'm looking online and it's saying most of the fans had it 115 to 113 for Joette. Wow. So these judges, man. Yeah, Shawa, this was a weekend of a lot of boxing, huh? A lot of boxing. But that's okay. That's what we want. That's what we want. The Zone had a card on tonight too, I think. Then Pro Box be putting on fights during the week. It's like Tuesday or Wednesday nights. Pro Box have boxing on. So we getting boxing up the wazoo, man. They really doing that for us, you know, and I don't mind. Cause even if I can't see all the fights, I just like the fact that they're on. It's like, just want to wrap my arm around boxing. It's like, you know, I love it. I love it. Yeah, so those were good fights tonight, on the ESPN. Good fights. I'd rather have had them than not to have had them. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to take note of that. Very important to take note of that. We take a moment out and enjoy the brother Focus Ball talking about his product.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah, salute to the brother William Old School. Appreciate you stopping in. Peace out to you as well, brother. Have yourself a great evening and weekend ahead, man. Yeah, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody that came out. A little post-fight show talking about Luis Alberto Lopez versus Joet Gonxalez as a main event feature on ESPN. Lots of other boxing. We're gonna check everything out, man, and we'll be back tomorrow night for the post-fight for Zepeda versus Gester. So just know that we working on things, and we're gonna do our best to continue to bring you that type of content, man, of post-fights. That's what's up. That's what's up. And it don't take all night to do anything, so that's what it's all about. Drop on in and talk about it a little bit, make you laugh a little bit, get on out of here. It's getting a little late, so, and I don't mean to carry on or keep anybody too much late into the night. I want to say thank you to the folks that sent in the super chats, everybody that hit my like button. Appreciate you as well. And just know that, that's what we try to do. Post-fight show, come in here, talk about these fights for you guys. Here's some feedback from you. You know what I mean? That's all in good faith. But it's really boxing is really doing its thing this year of 2023, man. A lot of amazing matchups, and we're not even done. There's gonna be some more on the horizon, you know. So with all of that being said, I want to say have a great weekend, you guys. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Be safe.
Is this not why you were here?